so that you get a real sort of... Let's just take a listen to it for a sound check and also to see what we may need to do. And I know I got a lot to learn. So here it is. Here's the guitar. This guitar is a little bit untamed. Like, I love the effect, don't get me wrong. I want to keep it with that effect on there, but it's a bit nuts in that it goes a bit phasey. Look, it has a phaser on it, but I think I've got too much feedback on the phaser. So I'm just going to dial this back, and I love this this rotor cabinet that's on here as well, but I think I just need a little bit more subtlety. So let's come in here and subtle it up. I am here, there, and everywhere, Sylvie, you know it. So let's play this just solo to start with, and we'll... So I reckon that might sit a little bit nicer in the mix. Let's listen. What do we think? Let's just listen to the build up again and just see if we can get this in the right zone. I got a lot to learn. Yeah, it's definitely a couple of dBs hot. Let's use my own advice and actually use the mixer so that we can do some more specific fine tuning of the volume of this one. So there it is. It's sitting at minus 5.6 at the moment. I think it's just the tone bridge. I think because this uses a tone bridge effect, it might be pushing it a little bit too hard, like here with the volume of the effect. So in fact, before I change the volume of this, let's play with the tone bridge effect volume by coming in here, because it may just be too much of this Lenny Kravitz tone going through it. Yeah, I think I might be onto something here of just changing it in here. So let's come out and we'll just tweak it in this section, just because I think that's where it's doing it. I got a lot to learn. Better, isn't it? I reckon just a little bit less down on this volume of this tone bridge effect. I reckon this might get it in the pocket. Why is my space bar not working? Logic Pro, you delightful beast. Oh, now it's working. I reckon, tell me if this is nutsoid, but I think that the lead guitar is competing with this. So, because I've still got all the leads here, like maybe we either turn down or turn off the lead guitars in the background. What do you think? All right, let's just listen to it without them and with them, and we'll see. So this is where it'll just to create some space. Don't you reckon? I was trying to work out where that other lead guitar is coming from, but that's Mars, isn't it? That's you, Mars. No, it's not. Where is the? I can still hear the lead guitar coming through. Did I get some bleed across? Well, it doesn't really matter, but I don't know. I reckon that we lose those leads for the solo. We just let it breathe a little bit. Let's trim it out for now. We can put it back because non-destructive editing, baby. So if we grab this, let's just bring it out for now. Just make sure we leave a little bit of it, and then where does it come back in? Like right on there, I reckon. And same here. We'll just go Splitsville. Let's just listen to this then with. So this is just going to have the rhythm guitar, just doing a little. So actually, let's just bring this guitar and the bass together. I like that I've changed the bass color now. Makes it easier to see it. Let's take a listen to this. I reckon, because then it just it creates some more separation of that coming back into here. And then the really stripped down bit. Mars's epic bass. Sometimes I feel so chill, it makes me wanna scream. And I know. And I know. And I know. Am I totally biased because I love that end bit there that Mars did, or should it just end with the? I just kind of love. I love that it kind of finishes it off because it starts with like the guitar, bass, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like I kind of like that the bass gets the last word. What do you reckon? I think this is sounding pretty freaking cool, if I do say so myself. I did some automation here on that intro distortion that you might have seen in the video before too. So this has got a little bit more of a. I think it could even be more dramatic because it's pretty quiet. Let's come here. I reckon we can even just make that a little bit nuts so that you get a real sort of. Okay, that's too much. That's it. On my launch pad. Don't need no coffee for my cream, no, none for me. Don't need no harshes on my headphones. Sometimes the things that happen make me wanna scream. And I know I got a lot to learn. All right, cool. Because what I've done here, see, is I've deleted that out. I was faffing about down here because you might have noticed that at the end here, I've recorded in this spoken track where it does this. Makes me wanna scream, and I know. So I've added in a harmony there, which was in the original, which I'd forgotten I had. And I know. So while doing that, I've obviously faffed about and lost this 1, 2, 3, 4. So No harm, no foul, because guess what? This is why you use version control. I'm here on version 19 and I messed it up here. So if I go back to version 18, before I started messing about, what we should find is that it should be here. Let's find it. Come on, there it is. So there's that little bit of audio. It's at bar 3, so we should be able to just tap here, tap again, and copy it. This is how easy you can like lose things. And again, because it's non-destructive editing, you can bring stuff back unless you completely delete it like I did here. And I don't remember why or how I completely deleted it, but I sure as heck did. But the good news is I'm 90% sure we can copy paste between projects here in Logic Pro. We definitely can in GarageBand, so if Logic Pro can't do it, that's a slate on you. All right, paste at playhead. Do you want to paste the automation data? Sure. I don't think I have automation data, but sure. All right. Thank you. Let's try this again. All right. 2, 3, 4. There you go. And there is paste at original position too. So even if I didn't know where it was, I could use the paste at original position. 2, 3, 4. Yep. That opening is killer. Don't need no grudges on my launch pad. Don't need no coffee for my cream, no, none for me. Don't need no harshes on my headphones. Sometimes the things that happen make me wanna scream. And I know I got a lot to learn. How we sounding here on the vocal level? Because I traditionally mix my vocals too loud and then I overcompensated and started mixing them way too quiet. So I'm going to be very cautious of this. You'll notice there that I've got doubled vocals in here and a tripled vocal. And they're all just right up the middle. But actually, no, did I move these to the side? Let's go to my... Yeah, I did. I panned it. And I think I might bring it back in a little bit. I might just go to about like, what would you call that? Around about 10 o'clock and to 2 o'clock. Because we don't want too much width here. We've got nice width on those guitars. But I reckon this vocal double here will be... And I know I got a lot to learn. Yeah, and we've also adjusted the position here because my vocals were coming in a little bit late. So in a recent podcast you may have caught, if you didn't, check out the latest podcast. I actually moved this slightly to the left, because when I was singing through lots of delay and I didn't have the low latency mode on, so it was not working for me. Now the second verse here I've added in, I've got doubled all the way through because I think it needs a bit more power. Don't need no people asking questions. And you hear there's that little bit of grit there. That was an exciter that I stuck on here. So you see we've got the exciter here, and that's basically giving it that edge. And I think it was sounding too clean, so I decided to rub it in the dirt a little bit. So let's listen in to this second verse and see if these levels are sounding good. Don't need no people asking questions. I take my own advice, it always sets me straight. Don't want no extra information. I keep my head all in the sand, that's best for me. And I know I got a lot to learn. That lead guitar might just have a little bit too much gain still. So I'm going to come back here to my mixer and check this one. So let's use this precision stuff. So it's minus 5.6. I reckon 1 dB down. I reckon minus 6.6. It said 5. We said 6. Minus 6.6. And that's the cool thing here. That's one of the logical things in Logic Pro that makes sense, is that we can adjust things directly. Let's listen to this again and see if this sits a little nice. I got a lot to learn. I'm thinking the lead guitars are getting a little buried in this mix now because I've brought the bass and the drums up, and now I think I need a little more lead guitar. So I'm just going to give these it again. It's not much. It's like 1 or 2 dB. I reckon it's 1 dB on each. So you can see what they're right down here at the moment. I reckon minus 18 is where this should go to. Because we don't want it to overpower. I love it being driven by the grungy guitar. Whoa, that was weird. I changed that, and it changed a different... It changed this one over here. Undo. Did it? What did that do? Oh dear. This is the problem when you start doing things like this. Let's I think it changed this Vox lead down here. It did. That was weird. I think I had the wrong track selected. That's okay. Let's just make sure that this isn't ruined now. Okay, I think that's all right. Let's come back to here and make sure that we actually have the correct track selected. Yeah, here it is. All right, I'm gonna use the fader now. I don't trust myself. So let's bring this up just to like 17.6. I reckon the other side needs to come up just a little bit too. That same 17.6. Let's listen to this back in our mix. That's a bit better. Down here. All right, that's sounding a bit better. I think, what was it? Just trying to see if I changed anything here. Okay, I think the undid whatever I did, because yeah, I think it showed some change to this intro. Let's just listen to the intro again and make sure it's still there. Here's my intro. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think we're good. I'm just listening to this intro again. I know we're jumping around a bit here, but this is kind of where I go with the final mix, is it just sort of needs to jump around a bit. I think this it does need to increase in volume, but I think it needs to start at a higher volume. So I think it needs to start about there, so that first hit is louder. Let's just take a listen. 2, 3, 4. Yep. And I think, let's just come out of automation mode before I ruin something else and come down here. The 2, 3, 4, I think this might not be going through as much delay and reverb as some of my other vocal tracks. And I kind of want it to have that. I'm gonna pump up the sends here to the delay and the echo on this one, just to give it a bit more guts. 2, 3, 4. There you go. Now it sounds like I'm kind of far away. I'm standing right back, 2, 3, 4, and then we're into it. All right. We're getting close. I think we're close to a final mix. All right. Cool. I'm down. So I'm going to listen to it again all the way through. No interruption here. And what I'm going to do this time is take some mix notes. So I'm going to grab my handy dandy notebook, which I'll bring up here, and we'll play through this. And I'm going to go hands off. I'm not touching a thing, and I'm just going to take notes. In fact, I'm going to take notes on my phone, just so I'm not tempted to touch anything on the iPad. I'm going to open up a notepad here on my phone, and I'm going to start taking notes. And that's all. So all I'm listening for is there some part that needs to go up, down, left, right? Do we need to reduce something, add something in? Otherwise, we're done. So let's do our final mix listen here now. 2, 3, 4. Don't need no grudges on my launch pad. Don't I have one note. Maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I've been so deep in this song for so long that I can't hear things anymore. But I have one note for myself. And that is that the second half of the bridge here, where this bass comes in, this needs to be the highlight. These need to come up. So this bit here. Okay, don't need no harshes on that head buzz. Sometimes I feel so chill, it makes me want to scream. And I know. My question is, though, do we have clip gain in Logic Pro? We should. We have it in GarageBand. I can't remember if we have it because I don't even really want to faff about with the automation. I kind of just want to turn these two tracks up about 3 dB here. So let's see if we can do that. It should be over here if it's anywhere. That is all the general stuff. That's the take folder. Here's the track. I don't know that we do. Let's see. So there's no options here under the edit options for that. And if we double tap it and go, oh, actually we can go into the edit mode here. I don't think there is a gain plugin, but I guess I'm using automation. I would love to just be able to grab this and say, just for this clip, add that. So it doesn't appear we have clip gain. We're going to use some automation here. That'll be an interesting one to investigate here. Let's come over here and we'll just use our automation, which thankfully we have excellent automation options here. So we will put this automations into read mode, and all we want to do is create some points here and here to turn it up. This is the way I approach automation. And then we need to turn it back down. It needs to come back down when everything else comes back in here. So we just create some points by tapping and tapping just next door to each other. We can zoom right in here and bring this one over here. We'll adjust those in a sec because once we move them, we can do that. Now, I'm learning about our automation. Get out of your pencil mode. Go to move mode because now we can actually adjust these properly. So let's get this right where we want those moves to be at. Oh, they're snapping, aren't they? Undo. Undo that. Let's turn snap to grid off so that we get more control over these because we just literally want it to be there just as it's coming back in. And this one can be directly above it. All right. So we want to bring this volume up. So we should be able to grab these whole panels and bring them up. We'll just zoom back out again. So we'll grab in between here and bring it on up. And it's going to go from -5 up to about minus 2.5, I reckon. And then we'll do the same with the distortion component, going from, just go to about there. It's not rocket science, it's rock and roll. Let's take a listen to this. And we've definitely adjusted volume this time. Not panning as we did in a previous video. All right, let's take a listen to this and see if this is going to sound how we thought it should. Don't need no crashes on my launch pad. Don't need no coffee for my cream. I'm quite turn up the volume. Don't need no harshes on that head buzz. Sometimes I feel so chill, it makes me wanna scream. And I know it's done exactly what I wanted, just a little much. So all I need to do is just drag this down a little. I definitely want it to go up. And maybe the distortion just not up quite as much. I know it's only a small thing, but I think I just love that bass part and I really want it to highlight it and stand out. Don't need no harshes on that head buzz. Sometimes I feel so chill, it makes me wanna scream. And I know perfection. That's exactly what I wanted it to do. Okay. I think we're done. And when I say done, I don't mean done, because I'm mixing in cans here and I have these wonderful new iLoud monitors. Problem is when I'm doing a stream like this, if I turn those on with my microphone on, you're going to get some feedback because these things go loud. If you want to check those out, check out the other video I did on those, the IK Multimedia iLoud Micro Pro. They're really good monitor speakers. You can calibrate your room. You can do all sorts of cool things. So this is now at the point where we can export it and master it. But before we get to that, we need to get a nice, clean, high-resolution WAV file out of this which is going to have the trimming at the front, the trimming at the end, and be ready to go as a final mix. Let's just actually come back to our mixer here. Yeah, so we've got probably enough headroom here. It's about 5 to 6 dB. I would like to have had a little more than that, but yeah, stuff happens, doesn't it? I'll just make sure, yeah, so I've only got the meters here. I don't have any limiter on my stereo out. Sometimes Logic Pro gets a little overzealous and it starts putting limiters on there. We want this to be a nice, clean output. So final stage here, we're going to go out of it to save to start with. And we're going to, just because I like round numbers, let's duplicate this and create version 20. Can you believe it? It's been a long month, folks, and we're nearly there. Let's hit this one, version 20, and open it on up and export it out. So we're going to tap in the top, actually do a quick final check, make sure there's no weird muted anythings, nothing's been accidentally removed or put down or whatever. No, we're good to go. So everything looks hunky and dory. Let's hit this button here and go export. Now we want uncompressed. Now it's got AIF. I've obviously I've set this for AIF. I normally use wave. So let's go to wave. I don't know why that was set to AIF. All right, so we've got uncompressed wave, 24-bit, 44.1 kilohertz. The reason it's 44.1 and not 48 or 96 or anything else is I started in GarageBand. Simple as that. And I've been using 44.1 forever, and it's fine. It's fine. If you want to use 48 or 96, you do you. Let's check all these. So we want the entire project length. We don't want individual tracks, although we could send some stems out here. Let's just check the processing details. We're going to include the audio tail on our effects, and we're going to include Master Effect plugins, and we're definitely not normalizing. You know how I've been complaining about what you can't do in Logic Pro and you can do in GarageBand? At least you can do this. GarageBand needs this button, and it needs it now. All right, let's come back here. Let's hit the share button and share this one out. It's going to bounce it down. It's going to export the file, and then we're going to be ready to rock and roll. I'm going to bring it over into Audio Share. If you haven't checked out Audio Share, it is my go-to favorite in the world audio editor. It gives you a nice look at the waveform. I know you should mix with your ears, not with your eyes, but it gives you a look at the waveform. You can just play things. I can throw it over into Audio Share on my phone and play it while I'm out and about. We're going to press this button here and tap this one to go to Audio Share, and it will pop straight up in here. And that looks pretty good. It's a rock and roll song, so it's a little more sausagey than some of my folky stuff, but there's no really heavy top edges on this one at all, except when we get here to the final chorus, but it should. It's got dynamics, baby. We want some dynamics, baby, even for a rock and roll song. So what we need to do from here is use the tools option in the top right to trim and fade. Yeah, we're going to trim the front, and to do that, we tap on this one and just hold it in one place right here near the front, and you get this sort of view. And just by overall experience and knowledge, I kind of know that you need about that much, because you can see here, see in the bottom right there, it tells you how much time that is. You can actually move it back and forward. So see how it says like 250 there? We want around about half a second. So we actually probably want about that, because it's such a small file. So now I'm going to release on that one. And now to test this, just hit the yellow button and then the play button. That might even be a little bit too little. Yeah, it's a little bit too little. So if we tap again, tap and hold, and just give it a little more. And the reason you don't want it backing right up on that front is that sometimes when you're playing things on Apple Music, Spotify, and even like the music players that you might use, it fades in. And if you've got something where it bang, it hits you, you don't want it to go blah. You don't want it to add extra input in intro fade. So let's hit play. So that's too long now. Little trial and error. We'll get there. Right about there. Yeah, I think that's still too long. Stop! What are you doing? Go back there. All right, so it's 160. Okay, yeah, so half a second. That's about what we want. And we can play around with that later if we want to. Let's come to the end here and do the same sort of deal. We just wanted to make sure that we have enough play out here at the end, but not too much. So let's listen to it. That's a bit too much. Probably need to reduce that by about a second at the end there. So we'll tap and hold. We'll pull it back and pop it about there. Let's listen to it again. I reckon that's about right. You get that, you get a tiny little bit of that ringing from the electric guitar after the bass does its final little thing. All right. So now that once we're happy with that, we can hit the save button and we'll get this trimmed version. And that's where it's at. What I do at this point also, just for my listening, is I create a normalized version. So this is going to be, so let's I'll leave it as that trimmed wave. So that's the one that we'll be using for mastering. But for listening, I also like to just do normalize. And don't worry, it keeps a copy. So see how it's making a new copy? So the only difference here is it's normalized it. So it's just pushed those volumes. It has done nothing in terms of limiting. It's just pushed those volumes. Anything that was hitting about -6 is just going to jump up here and hit 0. So here's the final mix version. Let's take a listen. Sounds pretty sick. Don't need no crashes on my launch pad. Don't need no coffee for my... Very cool. And then this is just the slightly louder normalized version. 2, 3, 4. And the reason I do this is like it's not mastered, obviously, because when you master it, it'll be a little more level than this. But when I'm out listening, if I listen to this version, it doesn't sound loud enough. Like I'm listening for the mix, and it's basically like doing a quick version of mastering for when I go listen to it on other devices. So this is the version I'm going to send to my phone. I'm going to listen to in the car. I'm going to listen to on the Bluetooth speaker. I'm going to listen to on the home stereo, and I'm going to come back and make any tweaks that I need to, because now I have my final mix.